Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with another multiplayer strategy video to tide you over during this summer disruption of our regular Q&A schedule. Today, we are looking at Batman Ninja Batman, and the joke of the title is, how do you solve a problem like Maria? Sound of Music, how do you solve a problem like Batman Ninja Batman? So here's the thing, he should easily be one of the absolute best cards. He's got super high stats, he's got the highest total base stats of any non-metal character. He's got an unusual and effective special 2 that starts with a low damage stun, with most of the damage backloaded on the special, so you can take advantage of boosted stun damage with Cloak of Destiny or Necron Scythe, or even both, stacked, to do massive damage. So what's the problem? Like a lot of the higher stat cards, his special 2 can only knock out an opponent on the last hit. The problem all these cards have is that any character that has a revive will survive all that damage. If you're relying on N52 Totem to generate the power for your special 2, you won't get your power back if the opponent has a revive. And that makes this flaw a huge time waster. And while the front end stunning special 2 has the potential to work like all of Batgirl's front end stunning special 1s, the fact that it requires 2 bars of power instead of 1 makes it less effective and less versatile. You will either need more gear slots or more specific teammates, or both, to do what Batgirl's special 1 does on her own. So you can do a huge amount of special 2 damage, but it takes a lot of work to get there and a lot of work to stay there to get your power back. It means that you can't use the tail end of the special 2 to protect you from opponents' tag-in effects like Rebirth Raven coming in to steal your power, Earth 2 Solomon Grundy to shatter your gear, or even anyone who comes in with bars of power ready to hit you with a special immediately. So if there is a revive on any of the opponents, what should be a high damage output fight isn't the quick win that it should be. Now, one commonly used solution for high damage specials, damage that's so excessively high that there is no one in multiplayer that could withstand it, the solution used to be to use area effect, or as we like to call it, splash damage. Special 1 splash damage is great. You've got League of Assassins Knives that gives 50% splash damage. Special 2 splash damage isn't as great because you're only looking at a much lower 15% if you use Fourth World Godly Mace, or 20% with character-specific gears, but none of those character-specific gears actually apply to Batman's Special 2. So the answer to how do you solve a problem like Batman Ninja Batman, so it's not Maria, it's Ninja, the answer is Enchantress Companion Gear. So what got us started with that was using it on Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. It really made me appreciate it, and even though you only get 3 skulls, using it like this on Batman Ninja Batman instead of the 6 skulls that you get on a full Suicide Squad team, it is still worth using as your 3rd gear slot. So this team in play right now is the answer to that problem. He needs 2 bars of power instead of 1 bar like Batgirl. You could use a teammate like Batgirl. You could use gear slots like N52 Totem, Master's Death Cart, and Razzle Scimitar to get your 2 bars quickly. But you want at least 1 slot free for Cloak or Scythe to boost the stun damage, preferably 2 slots, because the boosted stun damage stacks. If you only pick 1, Cloak does more critical damage, but Necron Scythe gives you a revive after you knock out an opponent, making Batman Ninja a little bit hardier, Batman Ninja Batman a little hardier. Which means that any Batgirl with a special 1 can be self-contained. She generates her own power and does her own boosted damage. And a special 2 sort of loadout doesn't work as well. Which is why N52 Wonder Woman is here. She's the one that has N52 Totem Master's Death Cart. She's going to give Batman Ninja Batman power, which leaves him free to have the gear slots to have both Cloak of Destiny and Necron Scythe, and then add Enchantress Companion Gear. And despite Batman here only being Elite 5, level 50, instead of Elite 7 or even Elite 10, level 60, he will still do potentially about 800,000 damage, about half the time if he crits, because all the crit chance on his special 2 is from augments, which would mean 3 skulls flying in after that 800,000 damage special 2, each doing 80,000 damage for 240 total. And even if it doesn't crit, 240,000 damage on the special 2 with another 3 skulls at 24,000 damage each. Those 3 skulls can be enough to knock out the opponent tagging in. And what it amounts to with 3 skulls, you're doing that extra 30% damage. It is as good as the 4th World Godly Mace giving 15% damage to each off-screen opponent in Splash, because that's potentially 30%, but the fewer members left on the opponent's team, it's less. It does nothing extra to the opponent in front of you who might have a revive. And the Enchantress solves that. And here's the thing, it doesn't do everything, right? One problem is still Astro Harness, where the damage from the first part of Batman Special 2 can be enough to trigger another invulnerability, so that the second part of his Special 2, which is the important part, it doesn't land. Or it hits during the invulnerability, meaning it has no effect. In many fights, the main damage dealer of our team is going to be N52 WW. So that means Batman Ninja Batman is not going to be the star of the team. But the great thing is, when you need Batman, he can really lay a bomb. And if the bomb crits, 800k damage, followed by another 240,000 damage in 3 more bombs after. And even if the bomb doesn't crit, that's 240,000 damage followed by 72,000 damage right after. And that is the Injustice tip for this week. I'm going to let it play out with more examples of a fight where the Enchantress skulls makes a really big difference in the fight. And this is where we like to give a big thank you to our patrons on Patreon. That would be Alexis M, supporting us on the Your Message Here tier, Michael Devries, Irvin Ruiz, and Hoshi127, who are supporting us on the credit level, and the people scrolling past you on the screen who have been kind enough and generous enough to have supported us during this pandemic. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Komoda.